is Saturday the 10th of October. And today I decided I would vlog. Yes, I'm finally vlogging. 2 weeks without it. So I just came back from a quick shop run to buy something, literally just one thing, and that is this journal. And I printed out some labels using my very handy label maker that if you've ever seen any of my notebooks you'll see that I used a lot. And I also put down copyright 2020 just because once I make one label I have to make a bajillion, otherwise I'm not happy. I just made a random label here, and then I also made one for the inside cover. This is basically going to be my series journal since yesterday night when it was like super late and I probably should have gone to bed. I was watching some AuthorTube videos instead, and I remembered this one person. I will link their video in the description box below. Their name was Truly Tash, and they were basically saying how they've got like a workbook and like a journal for their writing. And I was like, you know what, I'd love to have a journal for my book as well. So I decided to make it for my dystopian trilogy, and instead of making it just for the first book, I'm going to make it for all the books if I can fit it, but for now I'm only going to be filling out just the first book's info. So I thought it'd be fun in this vlog to just do this, and so I had to go to a shop and actually buy a notebook. Despite the abundance of notebooks I have, none of them were empty, and I wanted to start from scratch. And also I just wanted to like have a hardbound book like this one. Another video I watched was by someone called Ariana Bagnato. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, this is you, Ariana, please let me know how to pronounce it because I hate butchering names. Yeah, and she said she was inspired by Sarah Lubrat, oh my, I don't know, I'm sorry. And it's basically making like your own fan art or art inspired by your book, and I thought that'd be like pretty fun for me to try. I'm not very artistic, not at all. The most creative I am is with writing, but I still thought it'd be pretty fun to do. So today what I'm going to be doing is my series journal, which I'm really excited to do, and some art inspired by my book. So not really like a writing day today really, though I might still work on my standalone, which is nothing related with this stuff. Yesterday in preparation, when I saw that journal thing video by Truly Tash, I was like, you know what, I'm definitely going to be doing this tomorrow when I actually have time. So in preparation, thankfully I made some notes on my phone with all the important stuff I want to add, and there is a ton. I'll put this on my Tumblr if you'd like to have a look, so follow me or go to my Tumblr. I'll leave it in the description if you want to see the sort of notes I'm going to be using for my series journal, and maybe you can use some of these as well. I'm going to be doing that. First, I'm going to drink some of my tea, and I'm going to catch up on some older two videos that I was supposed to watch yesterday but I ended up falling asleep, and then we'll get started with the series journal. So I'm going to be going to do that, but you're going to see me in just a second. It has been a little bit of time. I've drunk the majority of my tea, which is sad. Now that I've watched some older two videos, I'm going to work on this. I have my many pens and pencils. Without further ado, I'm just going to do some series journaling. So my first spread is officially done. I decided to just start my, my journal off with just something simple, like maybe a base for all the books. My goal really is to increase the size as I go, because obviously I'm adding way more plot, as I mentioned in my NaNoWriMo and Preptober plans while rambling like always. If you didn't watch that, my plan is to make each book bigger as I add more plot, because for the first book I just want it to be a quick, easy read for you to know the characters and the sort of world they live in. The second book is, from what I've outlined, it's more history driven, so it's like the reason why this world is like this more. And then the third book is more trying to get control of this world and living in it under your own rules. That's the best way I can describe it. So my first spread is just a page and word count tracker kind of thing, like a base, since my first book I want it to be like 70 to 80,000 words. 80,000 words if I'm as descriptive as I want to be. I did do 80,000 here, and then hopefully the next book will be like 90,000, and then this last book, the final book that ends this trilogy, hopefully that'll be like 100,000. Also ignore that, that's what my sister drew. I do have to say my first spread was heavily based off Truly Tash's spread, so thank you very much for the inspiration. I think I'm going to do another spread because that was just so much fun. For this, I'm going to move locations so that it's more interesting, so when I see you next, I'll be somewhere else. Wednesday, 14th of October, and it's 6:42 a.m. and I decided I would be doing some writing today, since part of my Preptober goals / plans was to try and finish my standalone novel before NaNoWriMo. So I sort of left drafting to do something as like a second thing, or like the least priority thing in terms of my writing day, since I wanted to prioritize more outlining for NaNoWriMo than actually drafting before NaNoWriMo, I guess you can say. However, this morning I woke up and I was like, you know what we're gonna do today is we're going to do some drafting until, well, I guess until my class, since I've got an online class today. So I do have to finish writing at 11:15 to do that. But for now, we're gonna do some standalone drafting. I am currently at like 21,000 words with this, so I am making like small progress, but if I really want to finish this and like meet my goal, I can't just write a little bit anymore. I do have to write a lot more. So without much more being said, I'm going to plug my headphones in and do some drafting finally for my standalone. it is currently 7:28, so roughly 40 minutes of writing, and I have officially written 1,000 words. I am now at 22,037 words. I think since it is almost 7:30, I'll take a break from writing and I'll go have some breakfast just to, you know, wake up, get ready for the day. Welcome back. It is currently 9:05. I don't know why I keep showing you, clearly can't see it, but it is 9:05 a.m. on the same day, believe it or not. I decided instead of doing some more drafting work, I would be doing some more outlining work. Now, I've already done quite a few pages off camera, things like character relationships, characters, side characters, but I decided I need to do outlining work as well. So for the scenes, this is the exciting bit, I decided to buy a bunch of index cards. My mother got me this one, which I just think is like the most cutest thing ever. I think this is gonna be like really cute little like note-taking thing. And then I've got just some plain index cards. I have some old index cards from an old story I used to do, but all these white ones I've got for like planning out scenes. I don't know if I'll get to planning scenes today, however the plan is to just outline and draft. So I'll probably leave drafting until after my class, since my class begins at 11. However, currently, since it is only 9 o'clock, I'm going to do some outlining. So I'm going to move locations, I'm going to move to my living room, so I'll bring you with me. Welcome to my living room. I currently have SpongeBob on in the background and all my stuff set out on the dining room table. In a minute, I'm going to move the camera so I can do some outlining. However, I just want to quickly show you my setup. I have my index cards and my journal. I have a very nice snack, not very healthy, but it's very nice. I have some pens, and you know, you've seen this before. And I've got Save the Cat in case I do get some outlining done like I planned. And we can't forget this, a lovely beautiful flower to keep the mood. As not only did I get to a part of outlining where a major character doesn't have a name, doesn't have an appearance, all I know about them is the role they play in the plot, which is weird because I'm more of a character kind of person. Also, my dad decided to be the noisiest person ever, so I decided to come upstairs. And so here we are. I was thinking to myself, could I fill out something about them, something I know? And the answer is no, which really is sad. Because I made a character. They don't have a name. I still have a lot to do. I really want to start with the plotting. So I think what I'm going to do is read through my notes that I have digitally for the first book. And if I like any of them, I'll place them down here. But if there's some that I think needs a change for the second draft, then I'll pull out my Save the Cat and do some reworking. Can't forget my snack. noticed was that a lot of my outline is very like, it rushes the plot, because already in the second act is all this stuff going on. Like, there's no build up. It literally goes from 0 to 100 real quick. Because of that happening so quickly in the plot or the outline, I can't really like keep most elements because they depend on everything happening the way they are, obviously. If I want to the outline, I'm gonna have to replot, and that is going to be like, there's obviously some ideas in this, like my main character's background, my main character's home life, that kind of stuff can stay because it is a big part of the plot in terms of like it's relevant enough in the plot that it like stays throughout. And there are some characters that my main character meets that have to be met in a way. I mean, one of them isn't necessary, but at the same time they are, because it brings my main character to another character, because the friend character makes another friend character. It's a lot, okay? But yeah, there's a bits and pieces that I need to add into the outline that I didn't, that I'm realizing as I'm writing, like, oh, I wish I would have included this earlier. This just makes me want to stop my draft and just restart with my new outline. However, I am taking aboard some ideas I have and trying to include them so it's relevant to the plot, such as basically my main character has to be punished for something. I kept saying throughout my book that this person is super strict and like they don't tolerate like you not listening to them, so you have to follow the rules because otherwise you will have consequences for your actions. And even though I kept saying that, one of my main characters like didn't follow the rules quite a bit. Like, she just didn't follow the rules, I guess. I don't know what to say. Like, it was specifically said that they can't do this, and she did. And she didn't get punished for it, which I think just doesn't make sense, because why would I keep droning on about the fact that they're super strict and everything they do is gonna get, like, you know, punished for. You can't even breathe without being punished for it. And yet she does something that's, like, pretty extreme and doesn't get in trouble for it. I was just thinking to myself, how can I add that into my current draft so that when I'm redrafting, I don't have to completely rework the entire book? Like, how can I pick things out that will still help me? And so I did come up with an idea the other day when I was just watching TV, and then suddenly I got struck like that with an idea. I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. So that way, when I'm redrafting, it'll make sense why she has to do this for her consequence or punishment. But currently it also makes sense why this character has this sort of like consequence, even though she didn't specifically get punished for what she'd done just yet in this draft. So I think that's super great. And also I am going to do some outlining. Alright, I'm going to do some brainstorming first, since there are some areas of the book that like are staying in both drafts. However, I have not fully fleshed it out yet. So I'm going to do some brainstorming first, then I'll do some outlining after my class. So, let's get brainstorming. So far what I managed to do is separate my idea into 3 acts. I am having to block the rest because it is basically just telling my own story, you know, and I don't want to spoil things when so much is changing, you know, like I don't want to spoil things in general because I want it to be a surprise if you choose to read it, but I also don't want to spoil things because the things I spoil might not even be the book anymore because a lot is changing, as you can see from working. So yeah, I divided it into 3 acts. I'm going to take a photo of this, and now I'm going to wipe down the board and do specific work for Act 1, specific work for Act 2, and then a specific work for Act 3, so that I get a kind of like a rough idea of what I want to happen in each act, and then that can help me start outlining with Save the Cat. So now I'm done with the basic gist of Act 1. This is basically the whole summary of Act 1. It looks like not a lot, you know, to summarize an entire act. But I'm very vague with my sentences. I am going to do the same for Act 2 and Act 3 off camera because I'm recording for nothing, I think. Like, you know, just watching me write on a whiteboard. I don't think that's very interesting. So I'll do the rest off camera, and I'll probably have to do my class afterwards. So I'll see you all about a few hours later. It is very much later, roughly 9 p.m. and I'm just going to end the video there, as I just think that it's a good place to stop at. That's it from me for now, I guess. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you're doing for NaNoWriMo or Preptober to prepare, or let me know how things are going for you. Let me know how you're mentally preparing for the 50,000 words. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video next week. Bye!